Trading days, January 31st, 2015. We'll look at the SP 500 chart. This is the daily chart. And just follow up on last week's comments. We were looking at March the 11th, 2015 as potentially a trough for the current primary cycle. We did say a week either side, and I'm still looking at that time frame, but now looking also, we'd better start looking February 18th. I've got a number of dates starting on February the 18th through to almost the end of March that are quite nasty. They could start a primary cycle trough. So we're just going to have to be on our toes in between these two dates, these two periods. Where we ended up here on Friday, it was a down day, but notice that it was right on this green line. The green line is the neckline from the head and shoulders top that I had mentioned last week. The top being, remember I mentioned 2, this being the head for a reverse, but I'm going to stick with the head here on December 29th as the also the high for the primary cycle, and maybe the all-time high. It is the all-time high now. And we had the left shoulder, and then we've got a forming right shoulder. It's already formed at this point. It's weaker, which is even better. It has come down and on Friday hit the neckline. So it got support there. It also, if you remember from last week, and I put it again this week, I had a chart of the S&P 500 with the average longitudinal positions of all the planets from Mars through Pluto. So Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and then the midpoint of all those was converted to price. And it was 1994 and 1995, and that's exactly where we are. So we're getting support from that as well. We're also getting support from the other chart I showed last week, which was a 45-degree angle, a line coming off of the March 2009 low. Again, it was at the 1995 area. So tons of support in here. It'll be interesting to see what happens on Monday. The chart itself is starting to look a little more bearish. Price is now down below the 2 moving averages we follow for the primary cycle, the 15-day and the 45-day, and price is below both of them, and both of them are pointed down, or starting to curl over and point down. So that's interesting. Monday there is one aspect. There's not a lot going on. The one aspect is Venus trine Kronos. Kronos is very favorable. It's a Uranian point, so maybe many of you haven't heard of it. There's I use all the Uranian points. I find them quite useful. This Friday, or pardon me, last Friday, January 30th, this was also a Sun conjunct Mercury, and this is the inferior conjunction, the conjunction that occurs between when Mercury is retrograde. So it's between the retrograde date and the direct date, and we often get a turn there. I showed that last week, and the previous one it was very, very obvious, sometimes not so obvious, but we may very well get a turn here. A turn in this case would be a bounce up. That would make a lot of sense with all the support it's lined up here, but I don't really have any really strong aspects. So we'll leave it at that and watch Monday morning and see if we get a bounce or a lift out of here. Now, I did mention that we've got quite a few difficult dates, I'll call them, in from February 18th through to March 20th and quite possibly the end of March. So one of the things I do is trying to forecast what's coming up is just look at the new moon chart for the period. So that would be a new moon chart for February 18th, 2015 in this case. If you draw that chart up I drew it up for New York, but you could draw it up for Washington, you could draw it up for any country or city that you're interested in. They're going to be a little different. But the one drawn up for New York, the new moon is occurring in the 6th house. Some other interesting planets here. We've got Saturn in the 3rd house, and we've got Uranus in the 8th house. So what do these things mean? The 6th house is about workers, employees, public servants, policemen, firemen, and also illnesses and sickness are covered in the 6th house. This isn't painting a very nice picture. I'll say that right now. Saturn is in the 3rd house, and that's all about transportation. Saturn being there, it could be transportation problems. It's also about rumors and fear-driven rumors. It's about social unrest. It's about early education, so it'd be schools. So what do we have here? We've got fear-driven rumors to do with schools and possibly firemen and policemen. You'll see why I think this is a little negative. Uranus is in the 8th house. The 8th house is about death, debt, and taxes. Uranus, especially Uranus in Aries, where it is about sudden events, sudden changes. Perhaps these these 3 items, death, debt, and taxes, are sprung upon us very quickly. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about this one. Pardon me again. I'm going to include the individual dates I've got from February to March 20th in the text. So thanks for listening.